What's crackling, everybody? Welcome back once again to the definitive cereal tier list, where each episode we take a cereal, put it on the tier list, so you know how good it is. I'm your host, Tucker. In this episode, we're doing Simply Granola Oats, Honey, and Almonds. The last two episodes, I did other Quaker cereals, the Oatmeal Squares, which was oatmeal as cereal. This one, it's granola, which I guess is kind of close to cereal already. And just looking at the box at first, I wasn't sure, does this really count as cereal? But over on the side, it says like cereal filled to this line. So because it called itself cereal somewhere on the box, I figured, yeah, I guess that counts. But that also means we don't really have many oatmeal references or comparisons on here. So the oatmeal squares that I just mentioned, those were both D's, so that's a possibility. But oats, honey, and almond kind of gives like a Cheerios oat crunch or like the Honey Nut Cheerios medley crunch sort of energy. And that's like a C range, so could go there. Maybe this could go even higher. But let's just get into it. Another pretty full, hefty box. It's like cereal filled to this line. Not sure if that's legible. Very granola scent there. Aha! Natural flavor contains coconut ingredients. Thought I smelled coconut. All right. So with this one, we got a lot of just single free-flying oats. And then we also got a lot of big old clumps of oats. And honey and granola and everything. So I'm going to have very different levels of crunch, I think. So can I get... There we go, little almond. Okay. I don't love the coconut in this. It feels a little out of place. But overall, not too bad. It's chewy, but not really bad chewy, like, like a raisin would be. Wink, wink. But it's got some crunch too, so that sort of helps balance it out. Almond, not a huge part as usual, but there's also only one piece in that whole spoonful. It's not unexpected. But yeah, actually, as a granola cereal, wasn't sure what to expect, but I think this is a little better than my minimal expectations. As I've gotten further into this, the coconut has balanced out a bit, so it doesn't feel as out of place as it first did, and I'm kind of liking the whole sort of mix we're getting with the flavor here. And again, we're still getting a bit of that like cluster crunch, so that's been nice. None of the pieces have gotten too soggy as of yet, so that's been good too. All around, pretty pleasantly surprised with Simply Granola. Similar to the oatmeal squares, a lot of the milk has been absorbed, but let's see what taste the remaining milk has. Okay. It's like adjacent to coconut, you know? Yeah, kind of getting like a sweet oat honey sort of flavor in there with, like, again, that small hint coconut. Not bad. Yeah, it's actually pretty in line with the piece too, so can't really complain about this at all. On the back of the box here, it says Simply Delicious, and while I wouldn't go quite that far, it is pretty good. So, a little surprisingly, I'm actually a fan of this. This worked out pretty well. I wasn't sure how the granola would really go in cereal form. It's like, I've had granola bars throughout my life, and like, I've enjoyed those enough, but it seemed like a weird mix for cereal. But in this case, I think it actually worked out pretty well. Those like couple oat clusters you get really help give it like a decent crunch compared to, again, the slightly more chewy aspect of just the individual sort of oat pieces. Add honey onto there, like that bit of coconut that's maybe a little strong at first before it mellows out. And almonds, forgot almonds, because there's actually a few things going on here. But altogether, I think it actually worked out to a pretty decent taste overall too. So what I'm going to do is give Simply Granola Oats, Honey, and Almonds a C. I definitely think I enjoyed this more than either the oatmeal squares overall. Like, those were kind of interesting, but this feels much more like something that is good than just kind of like, oh, okay, neat, I guess. So better than those, which just have to reference because that was the other Quaker thing we just did. But then early on, I sort of mentioned how it gave me like a Cheerios Oat Crunch or like Honey Nut Medley sort of energy. And I'm not sure if from like a piece standpoint, this can quite match them, but from the overall sort of energy of the cereal, if that makes sense, I think it actually is a bit close. So I guess points for me for thinking that, but it actually, yeah, I think it's just worked out pretty well. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. In the comments below, post your general thoughts. Let me know if you've had Simply Granola, Oats, Honey, and Almonds, and what you thought about it. If you're a huge granola fan and you felt this really is like granola as cereal and they did a good job with that, you can let me know. If you're much more of a sort of just classic granola and this feels wrong to even you can let me know about that. On the back of the box, it mentions you can just have it as a snack on the go, which seems like it actually might be okay. So if you're someone who buys this, doesn't even put milk on it and just eats it plain, you can let me know how that is. I guess actually, I have it here. I'll try a little bit. Just reach my hand in there. Okay. Kind of like the initial bite I had. I think the coconut's a little too much in the dry form. So I think I prefer it with milk. But if you disagree, you can let me know. But until next time, stay delicious.